So for every custom home built, there's a few areas that are really specialties. And we talked about one of these a couple weeks ago in our fire sprinkler video. But one of the areas that I feel like is not often talked about is fireplace details. And the reason I say this is a specialty is, one, it's super important to get it right because you want to make sure, especially if it's a gas unit, that it's vented appropriately. If it's a wood burning unit, you want to make sure that you meet all the code requirements for the safe use of the fire feature that's put in place. But there's also some intricacies with fireplaces and the overall surrounds and details of items that might reside around them. And that's what we're going to talk about today, so let's get to it. So first I want to do a quick shameless plug for one of our favorite designers, Urban Revival. They not only put together a great package for us, but our team internally laminates all of the sheets associated with the interior CADs, which, as you can see, can get quite abundant dependent on the overall design scope that's required within each custom home that we build. And we have this on site so that anyone can be able to reference the overall scope. But today we're going to be talking about the fireplace detail that's located right here. So quite often, I find that fireplaces are quite often overlooked. There might be a call out for a fireplace, but there isn't a specific unit called out. A lot of times it doesn't always follow the requirements of what the design intent might be. And this can really create some complications with not only the installation, but the functionality of that fireplace as it relates to the overall space in which it was intended to go. Originally in this house, the architect spec'd out an isokern unit, which is a masonry gas unit, which is phenomenal. It looks amazing. The Maximus linear that was called out in this location would have spanned slightly larger than this unit. The second thing that would have come with was a large cost associated with installing that specific unit. But we soon found out that that really wasn't going to be the best unit based on the overall design intent that our interior designer had come up with. And as we look at some of these details, you can see that on our wall B elevation that the chase that runs up in this modern design actually protrudes about 8 inches off of the face of the fireplace. So if you can imagine right here, we're talking about 8-inch protrusion off of the face of the glass panel that resides here. Well, one of the problems that's associated with that is that we have certain tolerances or clearances that are necessary with any unit. And it gets even a little bit more complicated when we start talking about in a living room where we have TV and electronics that are going to reside in this space because, quite frankly, who doesn't want to watch TV within their living room? So ultimately, this made us not only discuss some of the value engineering options that we might be able to put in place of that isokern, which if you want to talk value engineering, go back to one of our previous videos that got released last week, and we could talk about how to save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on your project when it comes to windows, hardscape, and the likes of structural engineering. But in this particular location, not only did our unit cost a little bit less, but it also allowed us to utilize the system that we love and have installed in the past from the Napoleon brand, which gives us a direct vent option, which allows us to be able to take that heat that normally would be barreling out of the front of this fireplace, allow us to be able to push it to another location in the house, which reduces our tolerance to 0 when it comes to the overhang that would be located in this location when all said and done. Napoleon specifically calls it its dynamic heat control system, and what it allows you to do is have 0 tolerance for any combustibles around the surface of this fireplace. And so a lot of times we'll have designers that call out wood details or vinyl details, or in this case, a 8-inch protrusion that has a plaster face that's going to be a scalloped plaster face. That's going to be a really cool detail, but it wouldn't be achievable if we wouldn't be able to get that heat away from the face of this fireplace and redirect it into the room, but through a blower fan that takes that heat that's residing within the unit and it blows it out here, which still gives us the benefit of having a warm and cozy atmosphere to be able to entertain in, be able to watch movies, especially in the wintertime here, when a lot of people think it doesn't get that cold, but we do get down into the 30s during the winter. And so it's nice to be able to have the overall ambiance of a fire feature within the home, that couples amazing design. So overall, this simple swap of the fireplace unit really allowed this space to come together, provide an amazing ambiance for the owner of this home to be able to reside in and entertain in this amazing living room space. And that's why I mentioned at the beginning of the video that it's very important to be able to understand all the components that associate a fireplace detail, because there are specific requirements that need to be met to be able to make sure that everything comes together the way that it was designed. We appreciate you following along our channel, and as always, have a great day.